All right, guys, so March Madness is 2 days away. Well, at least the round of 64 is 2 days away, which means we have 2 more days to finally lock in our brackets, finalize them, okay? So there's still a little bit of time to do arguably the best part of March Madness, and that's picking our upset teams, because you don't want to go all chalk. You don't want to be boring, right? You want to pick your upset teams. The best place, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of a guide as to what teams might be the best picks to pull off a first-round upset, and maybe some Cinderella teams that can go farther into this tournament than their seeding might indicate. So let's just go through it a little bit. I already made my full bracket predictions yesterday. You can check that video out if you haven't already. And so some of these teams I might not have picked in my bracket, but we're just going to go through them. Some qualities that might be outstanding that might allow them to go far into the tournament. So I'm just going to give my predictions. Definitely comment some of your favorite sleeper teams in this year's tournament. So without further ado, let's just start, guys. So first, we're going to talk about popular upset picks in the first round. Usually the popular ones are 12 and 13 seeds like they normally are, because these happen most years. At least one 12 or 13 seed seems to pull off the upset each year. And I would recommend have at least one 12 and 13 team upset. I think I have 2 of each, because it's going to happen and it's fun, and you don't want to go all chalk and be such a boring, oatmeal eater, Just don't be so boring. Have some fun. Go bold. Okay, that's the best part. So 12 seeds, okay. I will say, like most years, any 12 seed and 13 seed has a decent chance of pulling off an upset, because it's not too far of a seed to where it's such a long shot. But we'll get to that in a second. So actually, you know what? Let's just start with that. So 12 and 13 seeds. I personally have New Mexico State 12/5 against UConn, because they were clearly the best team in their conference, and they always seem to make it to the tournament, and they've never really pulled off that first round upset. A lot of years people predict them to. I just have a feeling they're finally going to break through. They're a veteran team. Same with Vermont. I have them pulling off the upset against Arkansas, because they just dominated their conference. They only lost one time in their conference. They're coming in hot. They're a great shooting team, a great offensive team. They have a point guard. I think his name is Jordan Walker, who's a senior, one of the best point guards in the country, and they control the tempo of the game in March Madness. So look out for Vermont. They're dangerous. I actually think that they could be a Sweet 16 team as well. So look out for them. Rutgers and Notre Dame, they play tomorrow in the first 4, and either of them could beat Alabama, because Alabama's not really playing their best basketball, but 11/6 is not really an upset. But first 4 teams, they surprise people. So if you want a team that's going to advance 2 rounds, a double-digit seed that might advance 2 rounds, go with one of these 2 teams maybe, and probably Rutgers, because they have some big upset wins in the regular season. The whole reason they're in this tournament is because they've knocked off some big teams at the time. So I would consider going with Rutgers. If they win, maybe they could win 2 rounds. Texas Tech might be a tough draw, though. But, they could do it, though. They could do it. If there's one first 4 team, I could see Rutgers doing it. And then Davidson, I don't have them beating Michigan State, but kind of like the Steph Curry team over a decade back that was a 10 seed. They went to the Elite 8. They're a great shooting team, and they're very disciplined, and they're well coached, and they were clearly the best team in the A10 this year. So, don't sleep on Davidson. They could beat Duke. And same with Michigan State, because Duke's a young team. I don't have it happening, but I could see it happening. Davidson, they could be dangerous. Let's see. Let's go through. North Carolina, I think they could knock off Baylor, and I think they will, because they're a veteran team. It's North Carolina, such a storied program. Big guys, maybe the best front court with Brady Manick at power forward, a stretch 4, then Armando Bacot, one of the top rebounders and big men in the league. So, they have a chance. I don't think Marquette, is going to beat North Carolina. And I don't see it happening, them going far into the tournament. So North Carolina could be a sleeper. I could see them maybe even being an Elite 8 team and possibly a Sweet 16 team. So they could advance a couple times. Let's see. I think Murray State. Okay, Murray State, I have them in the Final 4. I think they're the sleeper team. They're the biggest sleeper that's a low seed. And I would say that means 5 seed and under. I seriously could see Murray State going all the way to the Final 4, and that's what I have, at least in the bracket video that I made yesterday. I'll probably make a couple more brackets, but I really like them. They're 30-2, undefeated in conference play, 20-game win streak entering the tournament. I could definitely see them going on a run. I mean, they just have what it takes, When your momentum oftentimes carries into the tournament. So Murray State, watch out for them. And then, let's see, UAB, first round upset, okay. So we're talking about 12 and 13 seeds. I have them beating Houston. They're kind of like Vermont in that. Oh, hang on. I think I confused the two. I'm sorry. Jordan Walker plays for UAB. I confused the two, but they're kind of like Vermont. They dominated their conference. They were the best team in their conference. They're a great shooting team, veteran team, a lot of upperclassmen, juniors and seniors. I like them. They can get hot and they're dangerous. Houston, they did win their conference tournament, but they were higher ranked earlier in the season. So look out for UAB if you want a first round upset. Could I see them advancing 2 rounds? Maybe, but Illinois is a tough draw, so I don't know. They could though. Chattanooga coming into the tournament because they had a really good record overall, and they won their conference tournament by making a game-winning 3 down 2 at the buzzer. Just a wild way to win the conference tournament. That momentum could definitely carry over, but they get a tough draw. I might have picked them to beat a different 4 seed, but Illinois is tough. I don't see them beating Illinois. They could though. If you're thinking about a 13/4, this isn't too crazy. Chattanooga is a really good 13 seed. I think they might be the best 13 seed. Well, actually, no, there's good 13 seeds this year, but I'm not going for it, but I wouldn't say that they don't have a chance. They have what it takes. They could pull off the upset, sure. Michigan, because it's Michigan, I could see them going on a run, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Michigan this year. Loyola Chicago always has what it takes to go on a run. I could see them beating Ohio. I think they will beat Ohio State. I could see them beating Villanova as well, because last year they were a 9 seed or an 8 seed. They took down the number 1 seed Illinois in their region. And then obviously we know that Final Four run from a few years ago. Sister Jean still cheering them on. So they have just some magic about them. I could see them pulling off an upset. Why not? And then in this region here, Iowa I think they could be a Final Four team. Seriously, they are definitely the best 5 seed. I think they're underseeded. I think that they have one of the best offenses in the league. Keegan Murray's one of the best players in the league. They shoot the lights out. They're just so hot right now. They won the Big Ten tournament. I don't know why they're this low of a seed, but if you want a Final Four team outside of the top 4, I would definitely consider Iowa as one of them. South Dakota, okay, and then so Richmond could, because they won the A10 tournament, I could see them as an upset team, but they get a really tough draw with Iowa. It's kind of like Chattanooga. I could see it happening, and they're all possible, so you could go with them, but Iowa is a tough draw. South Dakota State, this could be a team. South Dakota State has Elite 8 potential. I'm serious. 29-4, or actually 29-4 or 30. But you know what? Let's look at the record. Why not? They're 30-4. There you go. Look, 30-4, undefeated in their conference. All 5 of their starters are averaging 10+ points per game, I believe. Very balanced, veteran team, upperclassmen. They shoot 45% from 3 as a team, which is number 1 in all of the nation, all of Division I. So if you want a dangerous team that can get to the Elite 8, I would not count out South Dakota State. If they didn't have to face Iowa, I would probably have them in the Elite 8 in this bracket. I think that they're the team that can do it. And then we go to, my biggest upset of the first round that I had in my bracket yesterday was Colgate, because Wisconsin, I think, is the weakest 3 seed right now. They kind of got bounced early in the Big Ten tournament. Colgate last year, they're returning a lot of players from the 14 seed that they were last year. They're in the exact same position, but maybe they've learned. They're more mature possibly than last year. They can shoot the lights out. They have one of the best offenses. And for one half against Arkansas last year, they looked like they were going to pull off the upset. They were up 14. So I think they've matured. And I think not only can they win this game, they could beat the winner of LSU and Iowa State. I don't think either of those teams have potential to go really far into this tournament. So watch out for Colgate if you want a big upset. Now, if you want to go for the monster upsets, like all-time historic upsets, 15 or 16 seeds upsets, if you want to go crazy. Last year I had Oral Roberts, 15/2. Somehow that worked out. I still am shocked that happened. I don't really see a 15 or 16 seed winning this year, but if you want to just be wild, be on the wild side, be super bold, and I don't blame you. I like it. I admire that if you want to do that. If you're looking for a 16 or 15 seed beating a 2, let's just take a look at who I like the best. The best 16 seed, I think, is Georgia State. I'm actually surprised that they're a 16 because they won their it's a one bid conference, but they won the conference tournament. And in the past, when they've gotten into the tournament, they've never been I don't remember them being a 16. They're always 15, and they've been 15 and 14. I think they're underseeded, and I think Gonzaga is the #1 overall seed. Shouldn't be getting the best 16 seed. I think it's a weird draw. I don't know why the committee made this a first-round matchup, but the problem is they're playing Gonzaga. If they were playing Baylor or Kansas or maybe even Arizona, I would say, there's a small chance. But just because they're playing Gonzaga, I don't see it. But if there's one 16 seed that can do it, I could see Georgia State doing it. I think Gonzaga's too good to get upset in the first round. That's just my opinion. Cal State Fullerton beating Duke, I think, would be the biggest first 15-2 upset. That would be wild. I don't see it happening. Anything's possible. Norfolk State over Baylor. Now, I had someone comment on my last video that they think Norfolk State could beat Baylor. It's not crazy. I don't have it happening, but I have North Carolina beating Baylor in the next round. And I think, along with many other people, that Baylor's the weakest 1 seed. So if there is one 16-over-1 matchup, I would say pick that one if you want to go wild and pick a 16-over-1. It's only happened once before, but nevertheless, it's happened. It's proven to be possible. So go with Norfolk State if you want, okay? Then Kentucky St. Peter's. It's kind of like the Cal State Fullerton and Duke thing. It's a long shot. Maybe this is even less likely than Cal State Fullerton beating Kentucky. I would not pick that. Hey, if you do, you're a genius. Same with Jacksonville State and Auburn. I just don't think the 15 seeds are that strong this year. Same with Delaware and Villanova. If I just had to pick one 15 seed, I would go with Jacksonville State only because Auburn, because of these, I would say because Auburn's a young team and young teams could get upset, I would say Jacksonville State. Yeah, I would just say Jacksonville State. They didn't even win their conference tournament. This should be Bellarmine, by the way. They got robbed because they were a new Division I team. They didn't qualify. But I could see Auburn because they're a young team. I guess it's a little possible, but I think if any 15 seed wins this year, it's a huge upset. And then these 16 seeds, I just don't see it, guys. I don't even think it's worth talking about. But if you're going to go one 16 seed, go Norfolk State over Baylor if you want. And then maybe Jacksonville State over Auburn, or maybe Cal State Fullerton over Duke, because these are the two younger 2 seeds, and young teams could be prone to an upset. But I wouldn't do it with the 15 seed. I think they're kind of weak this year. I don't see any Oral Roberts caliber team. But yeah, and then same with 14 seeds. Other than Colgate, Montana State had a good year in the Big Sky. Longwood, good year, funny name, great name. But I don't see Texas Tech and Tennessee are too good to lose to 14 seeds this year. I think those 3 seeds are really strong this year. Same with Purdue. I think they're a strong 3 seed. Yale, not the strongest 14. The only 14-3 upset I see happening, maybe even has a decent chance of happening, is Colgate, Wisconsin. The other ones I think would be shocking. I think the 14 through 16s are kind of weak this year. The only one I see happening is Colgate, but go with what you want. I just gave my 2 cents on them. Do what you want. Have fun with it, guys. But guys, I think this is going to be the last video we make before the round of 64 tournament starts, so it's just going to be so fun watching. Like the video, guys, if you enjoyed the video. And guys, at the time of making this video, I think we're just 2 or 3 subs away from 1,000. If you want a sub, dude, you would be awesome if you did that. Do it. Why not? If you like sports, consider hitting that sub button. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.